Hi, and welcome to Team Project Plan, assignment 3.2.1 for Career Development Semester 1. So here we go. All right, let me give you some tips and tricks to help you guys out as you guys do this assignment. So, number one, the team event title. So, what we want you to do is make it short, make it sweet. The assignment gives you a topic of building Bob's barn. So, call it something short. So, for example, building Bob's barn, building time, whatever you guys want to do. Make it short. Something in marketing we always talk about is short and sweet. Make it something that people will remember. I'm from Spokane, Washington, and if you guys live up in the Pacific Northwest, you guys have probably heard of something called Hoop Fest, which is the world's largest 3-on-3 basketball tournament. You could obviously name it something even longer, but Hoop Fest, just as soon as you hear it, you know what it is. Even if you've never heard of it, you could probably imagine something with basketball and a giant festival. Number two, description. Make sure that you guys put in a deep enough description. It's probably going to take you 2 to 3 sentences. Explain that at the end of the road, what is the project? What is the goal? What it looks like, how people feel about it. All this and that. Number three, description of team members. You don't have to give names, but you might want to say, hey, we need 4 guys, 4 girls, or we need 10 people total, and just a little something that they're going to do. Maybe each person has an individual task that they have to complete, or maybe you need like 3 people to do, if we're building Bob's barn, maybe 3 people to do the foundation, 4 people to do the framing, and then everyone to do the roof and the siding. Or maybe put everybody for the painting, so you can break it up however you want. All right, number 4, this is the one that most people usually lose points on, so I don't want you to lose any points. This is going to take give me 4 or 5 steps in the process. What's step number 1? What's step number 2? So if you're building a barn, probably step number 1 is lay the foundation. You can't do anything else without doing that first. Then step number 2 is put up the framing. Then step number 3, probably the roofing. And then the next step would be put up the siding, painting, and then doors, and then all the fun stuff that goes inside there. You don't have to be extremely detailed, but at least put in 4 or 5 things. All right, number 5, date and timeline. You can give a specific date. You could give a time period. You could say, hey, in 3 weeks we're going to accomplish this. You could say, in 2 days we're going to accomplish this, or maybe it's a 1-day project, whatever fits your guys' event that you're putting on. Number 6, the materials. So if you're building Bob's barn, obviously you're going to need concrete, you're going to need water, you're going to need a lot of 2x4s, you're going to need roofing material, and nails and paint, and everything else that goes along. Number 7, tools needed. So obviously you're probably going to need a lot of buckets for the cement or cement truck. You're probably going to need a hammer. You're going to need a saw. You're going to need paintbrushes. Anything that could go along with it, go for it. After you put 6 or 7 things, you've done great. Number 8, the labor. Go ahead and put in what everybody's going to do. A little bit this touches on number 3, description of team members, but for labor, what does everybody need to do and in what process? Really mentally think through how does this have to happen in real life. Number 9, refreshments, my favorite part. If you guys want lemonade, soda, all that fun stuff, Gatorade, water. Oh, I love Gatorade. So definitely put something like that in there, or root beer. Definitely love root beer. All right, last one, number 10. At the end of the road, what does it look like? This one could be as short as 1 sentence, maybe 2 or 3, depending upon making sure you hit all the steps. What does success look like? So if it's Bob's barn, you're going to have a bright red, beautiful barn out on their property. Maybe it's going to house horses and pigs, or be able to put a tractor in there, or maybe all of that fun stuff. So anyways, make sure that you guys are well detailed. So couple extra tips to help you guys out. Number 1, the English teacher is going to love me for saying this: over communicate. You can never get in trouble for writing too much. Remember, if you put just a blank answer, I can't give you points, but if you just keep writing, hopefully along the lines you get something right, but if you get something wrong, you will not lose points. Number 2, get detailed. That's it on number 2. I think that's all I need to say. Number 3, on number 4, that's where most people lose points. List at least 4 or 5 steps. If it says if any, so for example, if there's no refreshments or something, don't leave it blank, you will lose points. If there is nothing, just put nothing, none, not applicable, but don't leave it blank. And then lastly, I think I mentioned this before, mentally walk through the steps. For example, last summer I put in our sprinkler system. Our whole yard was just a pile of dirt. So I had to think like, okay, how do we do this? Well, step number one, we had to get rid of all the weeds. Step number two, we had to get rid of all the rocks. And then I got to get this thing called a ditch witch. And I called a ground chainsaw. And we had to cut through all the ground to get all the piping and everything. Then we put in piping, sprinkler heads, and then we put in the main box with all the solenoids and everything and hooked up to the electrical box. That was a month-long project, but if you skip any of the steps and go out of order, then it's really going to be painful later on where you're like, hey, we did this, this, and this, but oh shoot, we forgot to get rid of the rocks. You have to stop and go back and do all that. So make sure you guys mentally walk through this. This assignment is really important because in life, you're going to try to accomplish lots of different projects, and this will help you guys frame how to do those. We don't just teach you guys this for the sake of it's another assignment. No, we want you guys to be successful in the real world. So think through all these steps if you're actually doing something. And hey, if you've already done something like this, please use that as your example. Or if you're about to plan out something, use this as a template to help you. And remember, if you guys have any questions or need anything, we are always there for you guys. So please shoot me a message, shoot me an email, however you guys need help. Don't be afraid to ask. Don't hesitate. All right, good luck with the assignment.